Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me because today, friends, fall is here. Fall is finally here. I know we all love fall, and today we are talking my September TBR. And I don't know what it is about fall, but I just start making these ridiculously big TBRs. Like, I forget how many books I can actually read in a month, and I just start wanting to read all the things. Okay, and so this is a very ambitious and unrealistic September TBR, and we got a lot of books to get through. Okay, if you see, there's two stacks as tall as me and some books that I don't even own. So yeah, let's just go ahead and hop into all of the books that I am that I would like to read and in September. Let's go that way. Let's start off with a book that has been on probably every fall TBR that I've done on this channel since I started it, which is very embarrassing. But I've decided if I don't read it this year, she is going to have to get on hold because it's just ridiculous at this point. And that book is How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin. And this is a cozy mystery that I actually think I will enjoy if I can ever actually make myself pick it up. So this is a dual timeline situation. So in this, we're following Annie Adams, who has been summoned to a meeting at the sprawling country estate of her wealthy and reclusive aunt, Frances. But by the time Annie arrives in the quaint English village of Castle Knoll, Frances is already dead. Annie is determined to catch the killer, but thanks to Frances's lifelong habit of digging up secrets, it seems every endearing and eccentric villager might just have a motive for her murder. I think this will be really good if I can just make myself pick it up. So we'll see what happens. We have Annie Knows Everything by Rachel Wood, and this is a dusty book that I received from Book of the Month in April, and I just love this cover so much, and I think I want to pick this up. And I think now is the time that I actually want to pick it up. We follow Annie, who thinks she knows what's best for everyone, but when her life goes sideways, the inner workings of her own heart become a total mystery. Can she stumble her way to happily ever after? I love workplace romances, and this is that. And so yeah, I think this will be a good time. Another recent pickup from Book of the Month. This is my July pick, and it is In Stormy Weather by Chelsea Curto. This is the first one of her books that sounds like it could be my type of situation, so I want to give it a shot. Also, this takes place during hurricane season, so I want to read it while it's still in the timeline that it's set in. And we follow Quincy Monroe, who is a woman in STEM with a PhD in atmospheric sciences and the host of a successful online weather show with 1 million followers on her meteorology Instagram. Sebastian is her brother's best friend, her longtime academic and professional rival, and a flashy TV weatherman from New York City who everyone swoons over. Everyone except Quincy. During a scorching Florida summer and record-breaking hurricane season, Sebastian and Quincy are forced into close proximity. Setting aside their grudges to chase storms and stay alive is one thing, but can they weather the inevitable collision of their hearts? Yeah, another kind of workplace romance, if you will. But I just love nerdy main characters, and this kind of gave that. So yeah, I need to do a reread of Cursebound because, friends, Earthbound has touched down into my house, and I've been caught slipping. I was supposed to get to this reread in August, but that did not happen. So I got to make it happen ASAP-ish so I can be like good and refreshed and jump into Earthbound as soon as possible before people start talking about it and I get spoiled. Okay, so this will be a reread. This is the second book in the Faebound trilogy, where we follow two elven sisters who find out that the Fae indeed do exist after being told that Fae no longer exist. So yeah, this is a fun, kind of spicy romantasy that I absolutely love. Y'all know how I feel about this series. Another sequel that I definitely need to get my hands on because the first book was one of my favorites of 2025, and that is A Clash of Carnivores by LaSalle Sandberry. This is book 2 in the Mastery of Monsters trilogy, and I just need to get into this. This is a dark academia series set on a college campus where we have real monsters in the world, and our main character is August, whose brother has gone missing, and she thinks he has gotten tangled up into the world of these monsters some kind of way, and so she decides that she is going to begin a partnership with a monster and go through the trial so they can become, I forgot what the phrasing of it is, so they can become partners. I was right. so she can become partners with Virgil, and in exchange for that he will help her find her brother. And so this is the sequel to that, and she is thick, and I can't wait because I loved August with all my heart, and I love Virgil too, and so I need to know what is going on with my people. Let's just keep going through sequels since I've already started. We have Queen Bee, which is a novella within the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series. This, I'm reading them in publication order, and I am currently finishing up The Shadow Cabinet right now, and this was published after The Shadow Cabinet, so I'm just going to read it in that order. And this is the story of Anne Boleyn, Witch Queen, and that's pretty much all I know about this. I don't want to spoil myself for or have the possibility of spoiling myself for the ending of Shadow Cabinet, so I'm not going to read the synopsis. But yeah, this is just the novella in the series, and I need to read it next. Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. This is the 3rd book in the series, and the 4th book just dropped down at my house in August also, and again caught slipping, so I have to read the 3rd book to catch up to be able to read the 4th. In this series we follow Evie, who decides to become an assistant to the villain, and we just learn about their hijinks, about the crazy things that go on, and also Evie and the villain might kind of like each other. There's our Frog King, whose name is Kingsley, who is the absolute just best comedic relief ever. And this is just like a whimsical fairy tale like situation, very like light but and funny. So if that's your thing, then you might enjoy this series. Ruinous Ends by Ivy Marie. This is the final book in the duology. I don't even know what it's called, friends, but it's the follow-up to Immortal Consequences, and I need to go ahead and read this because it'll wrap up a series, and that is the goal for 2026, finishing up series. We got to get it done. And so yeah, this is very similar to the Atlas 6, but it's YA, and this happens after the people are dead. So yeah, 6 students who compete in a trial-based competition, and there's magic, and it was a fun time. It was something different, and I enjoyed the ending. That Cliffy was wild, so I definitely need to jump back in and see what we're gonna do after the aftermath of the 1st book, because friends, everybody is stuck in a bad situation. So here's another one. Okay. TBR vet as well. We have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, and I think the 3rd book might be coming out this year. I don't know, but these are interconnected standalone, so it doesn't really matter when. I just want to be caught up on another series. So in this one, we are following Genevieve, and when her mother dies, she's left with questions no one can answer until she receives an invitation to Enchantra, a cursed palace in Italy frozen in time. Though denied entrance by the sinfully handsome yet hostile Rowan, Genevieve finds her own way in and soon realizes her mistake, for Enchantra is a twisted labyrinth where Rowan and his 6 siblings are trapped in a deadly game at the mercy of a twisted devil and his ghastly spectators. Only one occupant of the house can survive. Genevieve now must win or die. Yeah, I'm skeptical, and that's why I haven't actually read this, because I really enjoyed Phantasma, the 1st book, but I didn't like Genevieve in the 1st book. She kind of got on my nerves a little bit, and so I'm very skeptical to now read an entire book about her. But I'm gonna give it a shot. That's all I can do. Brigands and Bread Knives. I had to wait for the paperback of this to come out because for whatever reason they wanted to publish this one in hardback first. Don't get me started on publishing. But yeah, I'm excited to read this one because we're following Fern, and Fern has weathered the stillness and storms of a bookseller's life for decades, but now, in the face of crushing ennui, transplants herself to the city of Thune to hang out her shingle beside a long absent friend's coffee shop. What could be a better pairing? Surely a charming renovation montage will cure what ails her. If only things were so simple. It turns out that fixing your life isn't a one-time prospect, nor as easy as a change of scenery and a lick of paint. And I really enjoyed Fern's character in Bookshops and Bone Dust, and so I'm ready to see what kind of things we get up to in this book. I think this is the last sequel that we have, and that is Times Convert by Deborah Harkness. This is the 4th book in the All Souls series. It's a trilogy, but then we have this book and another one that takes place in the same world, but not necessarily, like, the story arc is finished after the trilogy. Like, you can stop there, but I just love this world so much that I wanted to continue on and read everything that she put out in this. So in Times Convert, I think we're following Marcus. It says, when Matthew de Clermont meets Marcus on the battlefields of the American Revolution, he offers the young surgeon a chance at immortality and a life free from the restraints of his puritanical upbringing, a life as a vampire. Marcus seizes the opportunity, but finds the ancient traditions of the Clermont family clash with his deeply held beliefs in liberty and equality. In contemporary Paris, Phoebe Taylor, a young employee at Sotheby's, whom Marcus has fallen for, is about to embark on her own journey to immortality. But the shadows that Marcus believed he had escaped in the 18th century may return to haunt them both forever. A fascinating exploration of the power of tradition and the possibilities not just for change but for revolution. Times Convert channels the supernatural world building and slow burning romance. We have Wicked Onyx by Debbie Cassidy, the first book in the Veritas Legacy series. Born into a sorcerer bloodline cursed and cut off from power, I was accustomed to being an outcast. For generations, my bloodline carried the weight of a crime committed by our ancestor. But my mother's death changed everything. She left a clue that could prove our innocence, an ancient text hidden deep beneath Knightsbridge Academy, housing the most dangerous enchanters and sorcerers conscripted to keep horrors and echoes at bay. And as the last surviving Onyx, I am owed admission. My plan is simple: find the book and expose the Imperium as the liars they are. But I didn't plan for the whispers that haunt my dreams, or the complication of feelings I shouldn't be capable of, stirred by two men bound to the very institution I've come to destroy. One sees too much, yet says too little. The other is steady, protective, and always in my corner. The Imperium cursed my bloodline, stripped us of our magic, branded us as traitors, and now they will pay. An Arcane Study of Stars by Sydney J. Shields. I'm really excited to dive into this because I absolutely loved The Honey Witch, which is her first book. And this is a dark academia fantasy filled with ancient secret societies, bitter rivals, tortured lovers, and dangerous deals made after dark. We follow Claudia. When she was rejected from Cygnus, her dream occult university, she was supposed to live out her life as the wife of an old man upon sacrifice for her father's debts. But her celestial magic is rare enough to attract a nightmare named Dorian. And when he offers her a bargain entrance into Cygnus in exchange for his freedom, she accepts. As she unravels the mystery of Dorian's prison of stars, the only thing standing in her way is the handsome, cruel academic star of Cygnus, Cassius. What begins as a fierce rivalry evolves into something deeper, darker, and dangerously sensual. Now, caught in the middle of an ancient curse, Claudia must decide who she can trust and who she must kill. And I need to know. 2. For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. This book is in the same position as How to Solve Your Own Murder. I have probably put this on every fall TBR since I've had it, and I think it is on my reader on haul list for 2026 as well. So if it's not read this fall or before 2027, unfortunately, it's going to be on hold. And in this one, we follow Teddy Crutcher, who is won Teacher of the Year at the elite Belmont Academy, home to the best and brightest. He says his wife couldn't be more proud, though no one has seen her in a while. Teddy can't be bothered with a few mysterious deaths on campus that are looking more and more like murder, or with the student digging a little too deep into Teddy's personal life. His main focus is pushing these kids to their full academic potential. All he wants is for his colleagues and the endlessly meddlesome parents to stay out of his way. If not, well, they'll get what they deserve. It's really too bad that sometimes excellence comes at such a high cost. And this just sounds dark academia and creepy, and like I will like it. So I just have to make myself pick it up and read it. We have The Accidental Favorite by Fran Littlewood. And in this, we follow Vivian and Patrick, who have done an excellent job raising their three daughters, Alex, Nancy, and Eva. Each is a well-adjusted adult with an impressive career and rich personal life. So it's with great anticipation that three generations of Fishers gather in the English countryside for a week-long celebration of Vivian's 70th birthday. But when Patrick's reaction to a freak accident early in the trip inadvertently reveals that he has a favorite daughter, none of them is prepared for the shockwaves that reverberate through the family. Unresolved, decades-old resentments are suddenly unmasked, and no secrets are safe, from ancient crushes to serious betrayals. As each member re-examines the past, the close-knit Fisher clan implodes in a way they could never have dreamed possible. Set over a single week, The Accidental Favorite is a compassionate, sharply observed portrait of the moments that shape a family over the years. It's a story about rivalries and regret and blame, about memory and identity, and above all, love, in its messiest and most joyous form. And I love family drama in books. And so this feels like it's going to give me that. It's short, like just at 300 pages, and I think it's going to give me what I need. Y'all, we have the heaviest book that I probably own, and that is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. And if you've picked this book up, then you know what I mean. This is a heavy ass book, okay? And I don't know why, but also this was a very expensive book, so I guess that's why it's heavy as hell. But in this one, we follow Alice, who has only ever had one goal: to become one of the brightest minds in the field of magic. She has sacrificed everything to make that a reality: her pride, her health, her love life, and most definitely her sanity, all to work with Professor Jacob Grimes at Cambridge, the greatest magician in the world. That is, until he dies in a magical accident that could possibly be her fault. Grimes is now in hell, and she's going in after him, because his recommendation is the key to her future, and he could hold her dreams in his now incorporeal hands. Unfortunately, her rival Peter has come to the very same conclusion. With nothing but the records of Orpheus and Dante to guide them, bundles of chalk to draw the pentagrams necessary for their spells, and a burning desire to make all the academic trauma mean anything, they set off across hell to save a man they don't even like. But hell is not like the storybooks say. Magic isn't always the answer, and there's something in Alice and Peter's past that could forge them into the perfect allies or lead them to their doom. And I did not get a chance to read this last fall, and I feel like it has to be read in fall. And I'm actually really excited. I know there were like mixed reviews on this book, but I am just ready to see what I think. And also, this will be my first R.F. Kuang book, so I'm really excited to finally see what the hype about her is about. Yeah, I know she's heavy. It's okay. You can do it. We have The Case of Elmwood Ranch by Deanna Gray. Super excited about this. I'm obsessed with this cover. It screams fall. Elmwood Ranch is Octavia's dream, a safe place to land after years on the road. But once she signs the paperwork and receives the keys, the nightmare begins. Shadows move on their own, strange accidents become the norm, and injured ranch hands refuse to work a second longer. Octavia doesn't believe in ghosts, but she can't deny something's wrong with the land she sunk her entire savings into. Ray is in the business of ending nightmares. She comes from a family of successful paranormal investigators, but she set herself apart from the Jones sisters by making their legacy into a commercial success. After years of enjoying said success, she's hit a wall. Whether it's burnout or a full-blown existential crisis, she doesn't know. One way to try to avoid a downward spiral: take every interesting job she can get, and that includes one from a very standoffish, non-believing horse rancher who thinks she's a scam artist and the things she hunts doesn't exist. Octavia and Ray must figure out how to work together if they have any hope of solving what's going on at Elmwood. As they build trust, they begin to build something more, something that could either help or harm their chances of making it out of this haunting alive. And lastly, I have a carryover from August that I didn't get to read, but I really want to, and that is Mayhem in the Mortal by Shanora Williams. And in this, we follow Zyra, who doesn't want a hero. She needs a weapon. To save her sister from a soul-devouring curse, she has to cross the Shallows, a nightmare landscape of ruined magic, shifting paths, and vicious creatures that eat people alive. Her guide, Thane Valcor, sorcerer, assassin, walking red flag. His name clears rooms, his magic kills quietly, and whatever he's really after, it's not salvation. He promises to help, he might even mean it, but Zyra knows better than to trust a liar with a blade and ice in his veins. She just doesn't have another choice. And I think this is supposed to be a little on the funny side, but a really good romantasy that I need to read. And friends, I think that is it. Oh, it's not. I'm lying. It should be, because look at this stack. But there are a couple of books that are releasing in September that will be added straight to the TBR. The first one is Heir of Prophecy by Annalise Sabrana. This is the Clash of the Prophecies duet #1. And this is a new adult romantasy duology following a young woman who finds herself the chosen one to two conflicting prophecies. So magic has always been something at the periphery of Audra's life. As a human, she knows that magic exists, but it is something that is beyond the mist. Until one day, the mist comes to shore, bringing with it the all too real Fae and upending Audra's life entirely. She is kidnapped from her home and taken to a school to be trained as a soldier by the priestesses, Fae beings who are an ominous presence with a cult-like mentality. Audra must band together with a group of other prisoners to survive their new world filled with guilds, magic, and danger. The priestesses are searching for the mythical heir of prophecy who will save them from an eternal winter. They know the heir is among the student prisoners at the school and are getting more and more desperate to flush out him or her. What Audra needs to know is what exactly it means to be the heir, because she's pretty sure it's her. Her magic is wonky and exactly the way it was foretold. As she tries to hide her true nature, something strange keeps happening. A vision, a very hot and very underworldly vision, comes to her, and what he has to say will put her life in even more danger and force her to make a decision that puts the fate of the entire world. The next book is already out, but I decided that I needed the paperback edition of this book, and I think that will be releasing in September as well, and that is Modern Divination by Isabel Agajanian. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's the first book in the Spells for Life and Death series. We follow Aurelia, who has spent 23 years maintaining the equilibrium between her carefully curated human life and the magical one that she endures in secret. With a devoted best friend and top marks at a prestigious university, she has everything one could possibly want neatly within her grasp. Except her gift of green magic has begun to fade, and if that wasn't enough to upset the balance of her life, a fateful run-in with another power-hungry witch with a penchant for stolen magic has threatened to bring it all to ruin. Cast into an unexpected alliance with her dreadfully arrogant classmate, Aurelia goes into hiding among a peculiar family of witches, where she discovers that the secret to her safety requires breaking rules she has followed all her life. Make no promises, tell no one what you are, and never stay the night. And then this is not one that I'm waiting on, but it is an e-arc that I received from NetGalley, and I want to go ahead and try to read it because I think it comes out in September or October. I can't remember. So I'm going to go ahead and read it now. And that is A Study in Sparkling by Jodi McAllister. This is Love Notes number 2. And in this one, we're following Fiona, who thought she had it all, a loving husband, 3 kids, and a life far away from the suffocating expectations of her family. When her husband reveals that he's leaving her for his secret second family, Fiona is left devastated and humiliated. Satoshi wants it all. He's the winner of a popular wine bar, and he's studying for the hardest test in the world, the Master Sommelier exam. There aren't enough hours in the day for anything else, except maybe for Fiona, his favorite customer, and the woman he's absolutely head over heels in love for. On paper, Fiona and Satoshi make no sense. He's 8 years younger than her and has no time for romance. She's a single mother and doesn't know if she'll ever be able to trust anyone again. But how can Fiona resist when Satoshi suggests they give into their mutual attraction and let off some steam? And how can Satoshi resist when the woman he adores is finally within his grasp, even if they've agreed to keep things casual? This is the follow-up to An Academic Affair, which I read earlier this year and absolutely loved. But I was a little skeptical about this one because of the age gap situation and the single parent aspect. Not really a fan of either of those two. So I decided to get the e-arc to give it a shot without having to like buy it or really wait for it or anything like that. So yeah, that concludes the ridiculous list of books that I would love to read in September. Am I going to read all these? Absolutely not. Do I even think I'm going to attempt to read all of these? No. But this is what is sounding good to me at the moment. And yeah. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Anything that you do to support me and my channel, friend, I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have the best day that you possibly can. Remember to take care of yourself, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.